Hey, this is the Daily Overpass. My name is Eric and I make apps. Now today I want to ask, should we update our apps more often? Okay, so today I want to talk about how often we need to upgrade our apps or update our apps and whether or not it actually helps in the rankings. And I'll tell you straight out, I'm not sure. But I spoke to somebody recently, I think it might have been Tom from Learn to Master, who said, he does see a bump every time he updates his app. And I started to think about that because 2 days ago when I did the video about do you produce art or do you produce products, I made an analogy of putting lines in the water. So I'll just put as many in as I want, and then occasionally I'll go back and check on them. And one of the reasons why we could do that is because there's no cost per application. If I put an app live, then it's there. Well, it's there forever. It is on Google Play, so I can remove the app, but usually I need to have a really good reason to remove the app because it doesn't really cost me anything just to keep it there. And which is good and bad. It's good because that means like anybody, at least on Android, anybody who could scrape together $25, has an internet connection and a computer, can learn how to produce an app and put something out there. The downside is just like email being free, it's easy to just spam people. It's easy to spam the app market. So there's good and bad, and hopefully the good comes out on top. iPhone is a little bit different. If your apps aren't working on iPhone, every year you have to renew that iTunes Connect license or the Apple developer license. And then if you just consider that it's just not worth it and you just don't pay it, then all the apps disappear. By the way, if you have clients, right? If you have clients that you've done apps for and put it onto their app stores, like once a year they'll contact you and they'll like be all nervous, like, oh, Eric, all of our apps are missing. They're all off the app store. We don't know what's going on. We've been checking everything. And you know exactly what it is. You think, well, you haven't renewed your subscription, your developer subscription. You just need to go through and do that, and then it'll all appear again. And no, I don't think that's it. No, it is. It happens every year. It happens once a year. Those emails you've been ignoring. That's what that's about. Anyway, so that's how Apple can take care of it. So if people don't renew their licenses, then the apps disappear, and then that kind of keeps the amount smaller. And then also they had this major cull they did at the end of last year, where they started getting rid of all the older apps that haven't been updated in a while, which is a very explicit way of doing it, so we know that it's happening. Now with Google, considering I pay $25 and it's there like forever, then it stands to reason that when people are searching, say 10 years from now, so 10 years from now somebody's looking for say a Chinese learning app like one of mine, and Google in the search algorithms finds two apps that seem to meet the same criteria, it probably won't serve one that was last updated 10 years ago over one that was pretty recent. It will go for the most recent one. The same as if you check on Google for a web page, because Google's been around for ages. If you're looking for web content and if it finds something that's exactly what you want but it's 10 years ago, it will give you that. But if it finds 10 things that are exactly what you want, it will probably give you the most recent one first. So it got me thinking about, because this is something I don't really think about a lot. Maybe we should be updating our apps more often, even if we don't have anything to do. Like if I update an app, it's usually for a reason. It's like adding, for iPhone, it's like adding some new keywords or some new screenshots or even some new functionality. On Google, it might be just adding new functionality, or because you could just change the screenshots and the description without doing any of that kind of stuff. But maybe it makes sense to release new versions every so often, even when there's nothing to change, at least to get things up and running. And I'd like to know what you guys think. I think it was Tom. Tom, correct me if I'm wrong, if it was not you. Do you find that your rankings improve when you release an updated version? And just thinking about it out loud, is it worth releasing an app or releasing an update once a month? Would that help us keep on top of the, because I know the Google algorithm must take that into consideration. It must take into consideration that you're actively updating your application over one that you released like 4 years ago and haven't done anything with. So it must take that into consideration. But by that thinking, if we start updating once a month or once every 2 months, does that put us in a better position if we just only updated when we had changes? Anyway, it's kind of thinking out loud, kind of trying to see what you guys think, and that's it for today. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.